Good afternoon, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Daily Motion. This is Rich again, back for your second video blog of the day for Wednesday, January 28th, 2015, around 2:10 in the afternoon. Sunny day, but real cold. The National Weather Service has confirmed it was officially a blizzard in eastern Massachusetts. So it's officially the blizzard of 2015 by the National Weather Service. And that's about it on that. My next subject is about the classic television sitcom Diff'rent Strokes. Diff'rent Strokes lasted on the air 8 seasons on NBC and ABC, and the real star of Diff'rent Strokes was Gary Coleman, who was Arnold Jackson. Diff'rent Strokes started on November 3rd, 1978 through May 4th, 1985 on NBC. And its final season was on ABC September 23rd, 1985 to March 7th, 1986. It was created by Jeff Harris and Bernie Kirkhoff, and it was in associations with Tatum Productions, which was co-owned by Bud York and Norman Lear. It's now part of Sony Pictures Television. They sold it to Sony Pictures, the production company, to Sony Pictures Television around the mid-1990s. And Diff'rent Strokes starred Conrad Bain as Philip Drummond, and Dana Plato as Kimberly Drummond, and Todd Bridges as Willis Jackson, and Gary Coleman as Arnold Jackson, Charlotte Ray as Edna Garrett for the first 2 seasons. Then she went on to her own spin-off sitcom, The Facts of Life. Then the other housekeepers were Van Volts as Adeline Burbaker. She was in season 3 and 4, and Mary Jo Catlett as Pearl Gallagher from seasons 5 through 8. Also joining the cast later on in this season 7 was Dixie Carter as Maggie McCurry Drummond for like seasons 6 and 7, and her role for Maggie was recast because she left the show. Dixie Carter, after season 7, her character was recast, and Mary Ann Mobley played Maggie on season 8. And also there was Danny Cooksley as Sam McKinley for seasons 7 through 8. And recurring characters on Diff'rent Strokes was Dottie Goodman, who played Philip's sister Sophia, and also Janet Jackson as Charlene Dupree, who was Willis's girlfriend, and Sean Shara Ross as Dudley Ramsey, who was Arnold Jackson's best friend. And there was a recurring character by the name of Gooch that was mentioned a lot, the school bully who bullied Arnold and Dudley around a lot. He was the character of the Gooch. There was nobody to play it, so it was an unnamed character. And Diff'rent Strokes episodes revolved around Arnold and Willis. Actually, Arnold and Willis were like 2 children of Mr. Drummond's housekeeper, and who was Arnold's and Willis's mother. She passed away, and Philip Drummond adopted Arnold and Willis as his own children. And the episodes are always around Arnold and Willis and stuff. Always Arnold said, "What are you talking about, Willis?" And also a lot of episodes were very funny for Diff'rent Strokes. Diff'rent Strokes became a big hit on NBC. In fact, there was, after the first season, there was a spin-off with Mrs. Garrett's character going to The Facts of Life. And actually, there was a few crossover episodes with Hello Larry, which starred McLean Stevens as Larry. Larry and Philip Drummond were old army buddies, and they had about 4 crossover episodes of Hello Larry and Diff'rent Strokes, which was real popular. Hello Larry wasn't a popular show, but it's every time they would have a crossover episode that their ratings will go high. And also, Diff'rent Strokes had a lot of special episodes that dealt with a lot of issues, and one of them was like an anti-drug episode where former First Lady Nancy Reagan appeared on in 1983 that was like Just Say No to Drugs. And also there was another episode that dealt with a sexual predator who was a bike owner. It was played by Gordon Jump, who was famous for his role as Arthur Carlson on WKRP in Cincinnati. This was an episode where Gordon Jump's character was a sexual predator who would try to attempt to sexually molest Dudley and Arnold back in 1983. And also there was another episode that dealt with like like false identification. The character was played by Whitman Mayo of Sanford and Son fame, and he posed as a relative to Arnold and Willis, trying to get an inheritance from them. And they dealt with in that, and that was a 2-part episode. And they had other episodes dealing with hitchhiking, racism, and kidnapping. All of them were big hits, highly rated when they showed those episodes and stuff like that. And Diff'rent Strokes got popular because of Gary Coleman. Gary Coleman was so popular for Diff'rent Strokes that appeared in movies, TV specials, etc., etc. And Arnold, the ratings got so high because of him. But towards the end of Diff'rent Strokes, they've had like a lot of problems. After the 5th season, ratings started to decline and stuff. They added like Philip Drummond having a love interest and eventually getting married with like Maggie, and they added like Sam as a child just to maybe boost the popularity again. But Danny Cooksey was no Gary Coleman. Also, eventually around like season 7 and 8, they ridden Kimberly Drummond out of the story permanent lines because from her moving to Paris. Dana Plato was pregnant at the time, and she asked writers of Diff'rent Strokes to write her real-life pregnancy into the story. They first considered it, but they reneged on it, and then she left the series as a full-time character and stuff like that. And by the time season 7 ended on NBC, the ratings were terrible, and NBC decided to cancel it, but ABC somehow picked it up for the 8th and final season of Diff'rent Strokes, which by that time the show was basically done, and ABC canceled it in 1986 after 171 episodes. I thought like Diff'rent Strokes were very funny, but they should have, ended it at season 7 and stuff. And I think people probably just got maybe tired of like Gary Coleman as Arnold Jackson after like 5-6 years, because actually Gary Coleman was playing like his 10-11-year-old kid. Well, he was actually in real life close to 20 when the series ended, and I think a lot of people just didn't really see Arnold growing up and stuff like that. But like Diff'rent Strokes was like very groundbreaking in my opinion, with like the character Philip Drummond adopting 2 African American kids and stuff. Very groundbreaking, plus the popularity of Gary Coleman and stuff. But tragically, like after Diff'rent Strokes ended, Gary Coleman's life was up and down for many years and stuff. And also Dana Plato's career was up and down and stuff. Tragically, Dana Plato passed away in 1999, and Gary Coleman passed away in 2010. Todd Bridges had a lot of brushes with the law during after Diff'rent Strokes, but he cleaned up his act and stuff. And it's kind of like Diff'rent Strokes was kind of a good show, but a little bit of a curse afterwards for the stars. It seems like a lot of teen teen stars can't deal with success of fame after the TV series has ended, or many casting producers do not want to give any of the kids in TV series roles for like when they get old, because they typecast them as their role and stuff like that. Reruns of Diff'rent Strokes have been seen for many years. In Boston, it was seen on Fox 25 for about 10 years. It's also seen on Antenna TV for a couple of years, and it's on DVD and stuff like that. It's all over the world under different titles. I think in several countries that the show Diff'rent Strokes is under the name Arnold, because Arnold Jackson was the most popular character on the show, and Diff'rent Strokes is a very fun show to watch. I really enjoyed it. I have a couple of seasons on DVD of the show, and it stood the test of time and stuff like that, and it's one of the best sitcoms of all time in my opinion. Well, I'll be back later on today. Facebook friends and YouTube followers and Twitter followers and Daily Motion followers for the final video blog, which will be about former Major League Baseball pitcher and Hall of Famer Phil Niekro. See you later.